we'll do both at the same time. So we'll do the burger, fry them a little bit on each side to give you that, kind of like last time when we did it with the avocado on toast. You give it flavor by making it brown. That's it, really. So I'll turn this on. Oh. Now it's working. This one's a complicated. Put the kangaroo on this side. Yeah, and we can do you want to maybe do 2 breads here because then we've got enough space. So just use a bit of this. I'm not using very much, but kangaroo beef in itself is really lean, like not very much fat in it. So when you buy beef, you can get different kinds of fat contents, and you can see it as well. With this one, there's not much in there. See, there's not much white to it, so I'll open one up.
Is the trick close to beef or not?
Get that brown, and then here's honey. So they're pretty small, so I'm going to squash them down a little bit. So then they kind of stick out around the bread. You can see that something's inside the bread. But I want to make sure it's hot. Not enough yet. And then straight on there, what can I use? I can use this one. No, it's interesting. You need the wider pattern for the bread. So it probably won't take too long. And then once this is cooked, I mean, all you do is like you stack it, right? And you cut the onion a certain way. You cut the lettuce, for example, and the tomatoes like in a certain way, so it kind of sticks out like in a burger. You know, you want it to look like a burger. But one other thing that I did was I got some cost lettuce. So these ones are the cost lettuce, and this is an iceberg lettuce. So do you guys know what the difference is between like these ones and these?
That one
in
is
terms
more
of
delicious.
You think? So you think this one tastes better?
Yeah.
Yeah? So this one's a little bit more bitter, and this one's more sweet. This one's got more water, this one's got a little bit less water. I like them both. But I like the way when you cut this and you put it on, it looks nice. It looks really nice, that's why I go with this one. Alright, this is hot. So we're gonna put this on. I'll turn this down a little bit because I don't want it that hot. So maybe I'll do 7. And I know like at home this might be different, but let's see. Yeah, scissors. Might as well do 2. Let's just do 2 in case one stuffs up. So the kangaroo meat wasn't really that expensive. I think it was $6.50 for 4. So it's more expensive than the beef in terms of like, you know, kilos, like how much you pay per kilo. But it is I guess, more leaner kind of meat. It's a bit better quality compared to like the cheapest beef, you know. But not everyone likes it, so you'll probably get a smell for it now. Okay. So no different to beef, salt and pepper. But you could add other things to it. So how long has it been? 30 seconds?
Yes.
I can smell it. Can you smell it now? What's happening? So this needs longer. We can leave it at 7, 8, something like that.
8 hours.
And again, it's a lot more expensive, like nearly double the money, or 100%. So if you're happy with 80% cheese, just go for those, you know, in plastic ones, or single wrapped. So we're going with this one because this one's like creamy cheese that melts. If it doesn't melt, it doesn't look that good. And I know I say it look good and stuff, but it's just, I'm saying that because if you have other people over and you kind of cook for them, they want to see something nice as well. So I think at this point, it's been 2 minutes. It's still really soft. I'll turn it. It's brown. I mean, this one could probably be a little bit longer, but let's see what happens. So at this point, see, it's really soft still. And there's even like a little bit of juice kind of coming out. That's when you have to be careful because it's getting ready. Like you don't want it to be that much longer. Let me do one here. So we've got the bread. oops, the bread and the other part. And then usually you kind of do a little bit of mayo, and this one's a whole egg mayo, so they used a whole egg, like not just the egg white, but the egg, what's the yellow part in the egg? The yolk. The yolk. So they use that too, which makes the color of the mayo a little bit more orange or yellow, not so white, and it tastes a lot better. Like it's more creamy and delicious. So there's a little bit difference there. Okay, so then I do a little bit of this, and if you have, you could use a spoon. Just kind of like move it around a little bit. There. And then this meat, let's check out the meat. So now the juices are coming out. A little bit longer, and then we're going to cut one of them in half just to see how it looks like in the middle. So like what you're trying to achieve roughly, and the other one we can put in the burger bun. So I've got the mayo. The tomato sauce will be on the other side, so you could do that already. Okay. That's intentional. We've got a tomato, and again, you could do it cut in many different ways, but I'm just going to cut it so it looks nice and wide and kind of thin. This is super knife. I love these knives. I got them online. They're like the sharpest thing. Nearly cut my finger off one day. So you've got these ones here. Okay, so this is pretty much ready. I'm just going to flip it because of the juices. Is this down? No. See, so it got a little bit stuck to the pan, which is not that bad, but they're basically done. So I'll take this one off, and I'll show you on the plate how it looks like. Halfway, half cut. Let's take this off and cut that. And then there's different ways, like you could use a whole leaf, crack, or you could use a half a leaf. Don't use the first few on the outside because they're just, they're not as clean and they've been around. So if I use one of these and get rid of that little stalky bit at the end, because that's the part that's not so nice, and maybe use another one, and then put them on like this. And you could do one or you could do two. I'm going to use one at the top and one in between. So you have the cheese, which is going to sit on top of the meat, and that's because it wants to melt. So just to melt it, grab my meat, put it on there. And then where's the cheese? The cheese is here. Get one of these cheeses, put it on there. And get the tomatoes. Oh, I should probably do this here. You can see it better. Get the tomatoes, just about stacking really. Maybe on top of the tomatoes, add a little bit more salt, and if you want pepper, and then the onion. And I think that's really important. If you don't have the onion, you're missing something. Same with these. So you decide if you want some cucumber or not. Pickles, pickled cucumber. But the onion you can't miss. If you do that without onion, then that tang is kind of gone, and you need it. Because you've got the beef and you've got all these other things in there that kind of are a little bit on the fattier side, like the cheese and the mayo. So the onion really takes out some of that. And again, just kind of cut.
Every time I cut the onion, I will cry.
And there's nothing wrong if it sticks out on the sides a little bit, so you can see what you've got inside. Have we got anything missing? Let's do one of these cucumbers as well. This is what you get at Macca's all the time. It looks a little sparse in the middle. And it's probably because the meat is